Okay, having already entered a username and password, we get started by clicking on the plus, and let's enter a classroom name. How about history class? And any optional information we want to add to that, we'll just say that it's a 5th grade class. Then we'll click the 5 for 5th grade and accept. So we have a classroom created. Now we need to populate it, so we click on it, hit the plus sign again, and let's pick some students who know a little bit about history. George Washington. We'll give him an ID number. This is optional also. We'll just call it Washington 001. Add another one. How about Abraham Lincoln? Another guy who knew a little bit about history. Again, an optional ID number. And one that will test our memory here. How about one more student? Let's pick Millard Fillmore. And pick up an ID number for him as well. Hit accept. Now what happens when we click one of these students' names? We see all of the relevant standards that apply to that student and classroom number. Let's pick a developing for Millard on this requirement. Say he took a test on this subject today. Okay, we want to hit the dismiss button for the keyboard and finished. Let's do a couple more for Millard. We'll first check and see that some notes are there, including the note that we put in and the automatic note when we changed his level of achievement. Okay, on this one, he scored a 97 on the numerical expressions exam. Dismiss the keyboard and the note, and pick a couple more. There's one he's meeting. And let's say now Abraham Lincoln will have a rating on the same subject he's approaching. Let's just say that he did something really good. Dismiss that, finished. Do some more for Abraham. Here's an exceeding, and developing, and an approach, or a meeting. So you see that we've got all 4 colors here for Abraham, and there's some information on the automatic status change note. George Washington, will give him some kind of further down. Maybe he's working on English. So we'll pick this one. He's developing. He read a book on this subject and reported on its contents. Okay, dismiss and finished. And let's pick a few more. There's an exceeding, an approaching, and a meeting. Once again, one of each of the 4 colors. Okay, we'll go back to the classroom now. There we are. We can change information about this. I don't really like where it just says 5th grade, so let's change that and say it's 3rd hour. Doesn't affect anything. It just makes it easier to keep track of things. Okay, let's look what's in the Reports and Settings tab. First of all, we check my school name, the Morrow Academy for Super Geniuses, taught by Dr. Morrow. Have an email address in there. And there are these 4 descriptors. Some schools use different terms for the descriptors, so we've made these capable of being changed. Let's change this one from developing to starting. Oops, need to capitalize that. Starting and done. So from now on, any changes that we make to that level would say starting, but let's put it back where it was at the default. Let's generate some reports. We'll do a student report. So we select on our only classroom, history, and let's get a report on Abraham Lincoln. This just provides us with all of the information on every standard for which Abraham Lincoln has a rating. And we can generate a report that can be emailed to the address that we specified in the defaults in the settings. Let's do another student report. This time let's get multiple reports. Let's see what's going on with Millard and George. We can select them both, and we get a 3-page report, 1 page for Millard, and because George has more ratings, there are 2 pages for George. The page numbers start over with 1 for each student. This just makes it more convenient to generate reports on multiple students. Let's do a classroom report. So for this one, we get the entire classroom status. For every standard that has anybody rated against it, we get everybody's current status. So we see a lot of not assessed there, but there's going to be at least 1 rating on each of those. And one more report, a standard report. We can pick, for our history class, we can pick several standards, 1 or more, to see the status on for the entire class. So for those 5 standards, we see how each member of the class is doing, even if, as in that last one, they're all not assessed. Okay, here's some help text that just kind of helps us figure out how to work the program, and a little bit of information on who wrote it and people who worked on it. So that's it for Common Core Classroom.